Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. New transfer market valuations have dropped, updated ones for the new Paris Saint Germain players, and we're going to set to be reacting to them in this video. As you can see, the Ziridu is the first one, going from 60 million euros in March 2025 to 90 million euros. William Pacha going from 45 million to 65 million. This is due to the Champions League, UEFA Super Cup, Ballon d'Or ceremony. Ashraf Hakimi going from 65 million to 80 million euros. Zabarni going from 42 million to 55 million euros. Ousmane Dembele, Ballon d'Or, going from 90 million euros to 100 million euros. Ibrahim Mbaya, cheeky 3 to 15 million euros. Vitinha goes from 80 to 90 million euros. João Neves goes from 80 to 90 million euros. Chevalier goes from 30 to 40 million euros. Mayulu goes from 15 to 25 million euros. And Khvicha Kvaratskhelia ends it off, going from 80 million euros to 90 million euros. And now if you take a look at all of the market valuation, we can see Dembouz at the top, 100 million euros. Vitinha second, 90. Khvicha 90. Neves 90. Due 90. Hakimi 80. Nunez 75. Bradley Barcola 70. William Pacha 65. Ilyas Zabarni 55 and Warren Zara Emre 50. Fabian should be higher. I know he's a little bit old and only has like 2 years left in his contract, but he should be higher as well. And all the other ones I'm more calm with. But I am happy that they're continuing to get updates and projections. But we have to be completely honest with ourselves. Would I sell Dembele for 100? No. Which means that's not his market value. Would PSG even listen to any offers less than 130 million for Vitinha? 150 million for Vitinha? Absolutely no. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia 90. João Neves 90. We would not be listening to these offers at all. And that's why I don't like with these market values, because they are clearly inflated by PR, and undeserved PR. You have Lamine Yamal here, 200 million. I mean, I guess 200 million, especially because he's only 18 years of age. I understand the less age thing. But how can Yamal be 200? Ziridu would be 90. It doesn't make sense. That's where the PR comes in. Jude Bellingham 180. No club in the world would even be close to paying that amount for Jude Bellingham. Erling Haaland 180. Mbappe 180. Vinny 150. Pedri 140. So Vitinha is 90 million euros, but Pedri is 140. Musiala is 140. Bukayo Saka is more expensive than any PSG player. Are you kidding me? Alexander Isak more expensive than any PSG player. Florian Wirtz more expensive. Ulisse more expensive. Valverde. Are you telling me you would rather have Valverde in your team than Vitinha? Than João Neves? Cole Palmer? Declan Rice, more valuable than any Paris Saint Germain player. Moises Caicedo, same as Dembele and more than the rest. McAllister, now the PSG boys come. Not a single PSG player in the top 17 most valuable. Even though in the recent Ballon d'Or list, we had 9 out of 30 nominations, the most by any club of all history. One thing I can understand is the longevity. We have a very young team that haven't had that many great seasons in their career. And some of these players have had many great seasons, which has, given them that. But I want to take a look at some players, and you will just see a pop out of nowhere, which you would never see for a PSG player. Let's take Declan Rice here, for example. Here's his market value, just growing. So he was at 50, then he went to Arsenal 100, and since he's been at Arsenal, it's gone up. How is that supposed to make any sense? Let's take a look at Jude Bellingham's. So Jude Bellingham 80, like he was never worth this. 150 when he joined Madrid. Well, how much did 127 for? Bellingham in the coming seasons, we could look as not a flop, but like mid. The thing is with Bellingham, he's young, 108, and he just stayed at 180. The PR is just too strong. Let me see Yamal. How's the graph looking? Start off at 25, up to 50, up to 60, 75, 90, 120, 150. You would think, I don't know, he's won a Ballon d'Or, he's won a Super Ballon d'Or, he scored 70 goals. Why is there these 30 million jumps? Let's take a look at a young PSG player, because Dembele is... The thing is, Dembele, I forgot. I had to scroll down. Dembele's 28. He's only 1 year older than Valverde. But again, it's the consistency, so I understand that. Vitinha, how's his graph looking? So Jordan PSG 40. And then he's only gotten a quick one here, which again is not understandable. Vitinha was one of the best players in the Euros and was like the best probably midfielder in the Champions League the season before when we lost to Dortmund. He was part of the Champions League team of the season, but he doesn't get that up. But when you look at these PR players, they will just get a 30, 40 million jump out of nowhere. It's so disingenuous. Even Rafinha here. If we want to defend other players, even Rafinha should be higher. How is he only 90? How's Gravenberch more than him? I mean, these market values don't make sense. And that's one thing I hate about these numbers and so on. When you see these numbers and transfer market sites and everything, these numbers are supposed to be neutral. They're supposed to be unbiased. But it's clear that the two La Liga clubs, Barcelona and Madrid, and the Premier League clubs have some insane PR. I mean, even Bayern have more PR than us. How is Musiala and Olise more expensive than any PSG player? Olise, a couple of good, consistent seasons at Premier League and one superb season last season with Bayern. Musiala hasn't even had a single superb season with Bayern. Like Olise last season is better than any Musiala season before. But one thing is the PR. Is the PR we always have to be fighting against. There's even this. Here's the most valuable squads in the world. Real Madrid sit at the top, 1.40. Is the Real Madrid squad the best in the world? No. Is Arsenal City, PSG are 5th. PSG are 5th, and we have a young squad. You know, a young squad has a high valuation because they're very young. They're very big investments. But according to them, Madrid have a better, Arsenal have a better, City have a better, Liverpool have a better. We barely have a better than Chelsea. I mean, this does not make any sense. This does not make any sense, and it's completely filthy. It's completely filthy. This one was dropped as well on Twitter here. Market value changes. Chelsea 364, PSG 303. So Chelsea, I don't know if this is for the year 2025 or just a recent update, but according to them, Chelsea have been better than us and more valuable than us. Barca, United minus. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't like that PR. I hate PR, and I don't like that PR goes into the transfer market valuation because we gotta update it. Dembele, respectfully, at least 140. Desiree Doué, respectfully, at least 130. João Neves, at least 130, 120. Vitinha, at least 150. Third in the Ballon d'Or. Best midfielder in the world. Like, what are we doing here? Can we find even some worse? I mean, it's so disingenuous. Let's look among defenders. I mean, we have Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, the two best fullbacks in the world. Oh my days. Look at this. Pau Kobarsi. Same valuation as Hakim. And here we can't even use the consistency thing. I mean, Achraf Hakimi is one of the most consistent players across his entire career at Dortmund, at Inter Milan, and now at PSG. Saliba, same price. Nuno Mendes here. I mean, at least they're in the top 5. Kubarsi. I mean, this is the definition of PR. If you have never known what PR is, Pau Kubarsi for 80 million euros and Hakimi for 80 is the biggest definition of PR. Because no club would pay 80 million for Kubarsi, even though he's only 18 years of age. Still, take a look at midfielders. You know, Paris Saint Germain have the best midfielder in the world. Where do our midfielders rank? So we're not even in the top. I mean, we're barely in the top 10. Neves and Vitinha, and then obviously Fabio Ruiz. They treat him as if he was complete garbage, putting bums like Zubimendi, Tonali, Eze ahead of Fabio Ruiz. Best player at the Euros, insane at the Champions League, insane at the Club World Cup. I mean, it's so disrespectful. It's nice that we're getting updates, but it should be way higher. It should be way higher. It's just completely disgusting. So according to them, value-wise, we barely have a top 10 in the world. And then when we look at forwards, Dembele, Doué, okay, at least all together, again, barely in the top 10. Would you rather have Saka in your team than Doué? Would you rather have Saka than Khvicha? Would you rather have Saka than Dembele? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely disgusting. It's completely filthy. I was happy looking at the updated numbers, but when now I compare him to the other ones, I mean, it's just... I guess we have to prove the haters wrong again, because if one of the PR clubs had the season that we had, if Madrid had a treble, if Barca had a treble, or any Premier League clubs had a treble, beating all those Prem sides, beating Inter 5-0 in Champions League final, beating Real Madrid 4-0 in Club World Cup, Atletico 4-0 Club World Cup, Spurs, Barca beating them, Atalanta 4-0, beating all, if any of those teams did it, they would receive way much PR. Way much PR. And that's why we have to win the Champions League again. That's why we have to win the Champions League again. Because the respect is not here. This is disrespectful. And I hate the transfer market and all of these sites that are supposed to be neutral and unbiased, but it's clear they have a Premier League and filthy La Liga bias. Not La Liga, but Barca Madrid bias. Because they're just lying here in the numbers. These are obvious lies. That's been it from boy PSGINT. Hopefully guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez Paris.